Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Phantasy Star Online 2. Now, this is going to be a little bit different from what we've typically done in the past. Typically I've had the impression of having a show going on, and mostly we're going through the story, and basically I just want to have a chill stream here today, kind of go through leveling, and also work on getting some Conqueror's Crests, because, you know, we're still not going to be going through the story here, and that's not going to be happening for a while. I am not backing down on what I said before. I need to see some kind of comeuppance on everything that's happening, and yeah, there is the chance we may actually run into one of those characters today, but what can I say? I still want to just kind of have a chill stream here, and just basically go through some motions here as we're waiting for things to kind of happen regarding the story. Now, one of the things I am looking to do today is I do want to work on getting some of what are called Conqueror's Crests, or Crests rather, and what those are. If we head up here to where SEGA is, he has what is called a 14-star Conqueror's Crest exchange, and basically you're able to get, if you have a ton of problems getting a 14-star weapon, you can basically collect 500 Conqueror's Crests and get yourself a 14-star weapon. I've got about, I want to say around 60 or 70 at this point, and I just want to keep going through and getting Conqueror's Crests here. Especially because that is one of the things that SEGA is doing on a weekly basis at this point here. You can complete essentially a list of different quests or objectives, and each one of those will then get you a set of Conqueror's Crests. So anyway, the first of those that I see here is we need to do a run on Kuron, or rather the Advanced Quest Kuron. Now, all of the, or rather three of the three that we're looking at here, which are part of the campaign quests, those are all eligible for Conqueror's Crests here. So, let's go ahead and check out the Special Survey Kuron. As you can see, there are also a bunch of bonuses going on right now. That's because the game is currently in the process of celebrating, I think it... I'm not exactly sure. The number says 500, but I don't think that's right. I think it's closer to like 50 or 5 million active accounts or something like that. So that's part of the bonus that's going on right now here. So let's go ahead and start this up on super hard mode. And let's see. Okay, so this is just talking about all the different stuff that's going on related to the campaign boost. I'm also going to open this up to other players if they want to join me. I am currently on ship 2, block 11. If you would like to join me, please feel free to join me. Now let's see what kind of capsule. We need 10 capsules that are of the E-type, so let me open up my bank here. And let's see. I think I've got all those. Okay, those are C-type. Alright, I must have all of them out here in the main, then. Here we go. So let's grab 10 of these. Now, I'm also in here as a Bouncer Hunter combo, and that is because basically I have finished leveling up the hero class at this point to level 80, and from what I understand, there's going to be a level cap increase coming in the near future, specifically for the main classes. The hero class is apparently being excluded for that, from that, and so I do want to kind of get everything in order in terms of the classes. I still want to level up beyond hero. Now let's grab a Shift to Drink EX. Alright, and I'm going to close out invites for this particular quest in about 30 seconds here. Alright, at this point, let's go ahead and close this out here to Invice. Let's go ahead and get this started. And of course, I'm still open to having anybody join me if they want to join me here tonight. But at this point, now that I have started the quest, I'm not able to have anybody else come in. Now, you're probably noticing I'm getting quite a bit of experience if you're familiar with this particular quest, and that's just because I've got a bunch of boosters running on top of the special on top of all the special boosts that are going on right now. And if there's one piece of advice I could give you related to this game and leveling up, if you know you're going to be around on the 2nd of the month, hang on to your bonus keys and use them all up on that day. And the reason you want to do that is because you're going to get yet another boost on top of that in terms of experience. Let's see here. Audio might have been a little loud there. I just adjusted it a little bit here. And what I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to get enough kills in so it'll count that I've basically gotten enough done to essentially finish the quest with an A rank or higher. If I were to just go straight for the final boss, then I would not obtain that, and then I would not essentially get the proper clear that I would need for the campaign that's going on. So looks like we've got a doppelganger here for Apprentice. It went down real fast. Alright, moving on. Like I said, I'm basically just trying to go for completion here. I think we're getting pretty close to what I want to get for this particular area, and then we'll move on to the next one after this group. I mean, sure, you got all your Pyrozene stones and everything like that here, but at the same time, I'm kind of at the, at least in terms of my account here, I've been around in this game to the point whereby all the weapons that you can really get from those kind of stones just don't do anything for me anymore. I've already gotten better stuff, and that's kind of because way back after I recorded the mother fight up on the moon, I then went through the campaign to basically get the different weapons that they have, and so that's why for almost all of them I've got an Astra weapon for pretty much every single weapon type out there. The only one that I never got up to 35 or plus 35 rather was the Talus. And that's because I never really liked the Talus, at least not until the Hero class came out, and that's because it completely changed from being a tech-based weapon into essentially a slicer weapon, which I had been looking for in this game for a really long time. But obviously I'm on a bouncer right now, and that's just so I can finish leveling them up now. Oh, and just to make sure there's absolutely no doubt about me stopping the story here, let me open up my menu here. And as you can see, I still have the Dark Blast option essentially grayed out there. I can't do anything because I haven't progressed in the story there. So there's absolutely no question here that I am holding off on the story here. Alright, so it looks like we've got an encounter with the characters from Phantasy Star Portable and Phantasy Star Portable 2, Vivian and Amelia. And, you know, once I get back into the story for PSO2, and kind of once this channel is all set in terms of where I want it to be in terms of growth, then of course I would like to proceed with things in terms of going through other games in the series. And even if we don't, even if PSO2 is still out of the picture for quite a while, in terms of the story, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll start one of those up regardless. It really comes down to a question of what I want to do Phantasy Star 2, what I want to do Phantasy Star Universe Ambition of the Illuminous. There are a ton of options available to us. I mean, who knows? Maybe we even start into the original Phantasy Star Online. I know there are still a bunch of players that remember playing that game, and they had a fun time with it, so... And it was the series that I think lasted me the longest. I think this group will be enough in terms of me finishing this area. Alright, let's hop up to here. Oh. Alright, looks like we're gonna have to run over to there then. Up we go. Broke before I could get to the top there. Alright, let's see if we can find the exit to this place now. Looks like it was completely on the other side of the map here, so... Alright, into the final area. Go ahead and buff up. And let's get this going. Let's get our Photon Blast going. We gotta finish them off. There we go. Alright, looks like we had some eggs drop here. And an X cube.
Completed.
Alright, once again, I'm going to open it up to anybody that wants to join me. Up next, we're going to take a look at the seabed area on Super Hard. And I'll give you about 3 minutes to join here. In the meantime, I'm just trying to sort through some stuff here. There we go, that gives us a good amount of space to work with now in our inventory. About 60 more seconds, then I'll close it off. Yeah, Rooks, if you want to join me, please come along. I'm in, Block 11 right now. Alright, so we got Rooks from the chat joining us here. Also, they are also a member of my Discord as well. Alright, and I'll give it another 30 seconds and then we'll get going. Alright, let's see. Alright, then let's go ahead and get this going then. That's a good question, yeah. If you've got a higher risk, then whoever is should actually take over. So I will go ahead and cede control of the party over to Rooks here. And so this is probably now going to turn into a full run. So let's, whenever you're ready. Alright, I guess I'll grab one as well here. Turo's kind of funny. Them along with the other cat are part of the PlayStation branding. All right, here we go. Alright, we've got an emergency trial already.
Emergency code attack. Completed.
Got a good group here. They just keep coming. I think that's it finally. Let's see if anything's hiding in the corners over here. Here we go, some darkers. Getting some really big groups down here. Even though they're appearing kind of slowly, a few at a time.
Emergency code attack. 目標達成。お疲れ様でした。Completed.
Looks like my boosters have run out. So yeah, it looks like that upper left corner is going to be the end of the area here. So we'll check out the two small spots we still have yet to check out. Alright, looks like that's it. We'll head for the for the northwest quadrant now. I always found this little design here kind of curious, why they put stairs leading to nowhere. Congrats. And yeah, this yeah, I mean, this is where Luther was doing some of his experiments. So yeah, that makes sense. I guess I was just kind of more making a point about the aesthetics of the place. Get that booster going again. Oh, and if you have the ability to, make sure you're constantly running with those 250 boosters for rare drop rates. There's really no reason not to when the game just spits out enough that you can get, I think it's the photon spheres. You can just get enough of those on a regular basis without having to worry about not getting enough to kind of replace the one that you just paid for, essentially. Especially if you use them when you're going into emergency quests and such. I'll admit, getting the first set of them may take a little while, just because you have to get enough photon spheres in the first place if you're a new player, but at the same time, it really shouldn't take that long.
Completed.
I mean, plus at this point, you're talking about just needing to get 10-star weapons in order to get photon spheres. Or actually, that's how it's always been. But these days, when it's 13 and 14 stars that everybody's looking for, it's really easy to find them at this point. Way back in the day, yeah, it would have been hard, but these days, there's like no reason not to. Alright, moving on. This is a nice large group of Darkers. Yeah, and Bouncer is one of the easier classes to kind of strike a bunch of different targets all at the same time, thanks to the jet boots. I know, I'm basically just spamming the same move over and over, but it's what's most effective for me. I mean, sure, you could mix it up with like some techniques and such, but really, I just don't see much point in it when this is pretty much the most powerful photon art I've got. Now granted, that's not saying much. Jet boots only have 4 photon arcs to begin with, and it's always been that way. Part of their spiel is just the fact they've been able to use techniques on top of the jet boots. It used to be that you had to use them in a set order, but ever since the introduction of 3-button palettes, that's no longer an issue. I mean, of course, you could always use another one like this one here, and then use the weapon action, that then gives you shift. But already all the targets here are just going down so quickly for me that there really isn't much point in me even buffing myself like that. Okay, looks like we got a chance at a PSE burst here.
PSE burst.
And there we go. So now we're looking for where they're going to pop up. Over here, by the grate. Fortunately, it seems to only be like one of them at the same time here. If you're in a bigger group, then of course, you'll have more of them popping up. Oh wow, I'm surprised we actually got a cross burst off of this. Alright, so it looks like we got an emergency quest coming up pretty soon here in about 15 minutes. My understanding is that is for the Wild Easter quest. Sure, we can go ahead and take a look at that as well here today. Looks like it might extend. Yep, there we go. The hint I've always used relating to figuring out if a burst is going to keep going is the countdown timer will reach 0 and get stuck there for a brief moment. And that's typically a sign that there's going to be something else happening. I think the longest I've ever had went to a 5 burst, but I'm not really sure if there's any way to actually force the game to go even longer than that. It seems to have the potential for it, but yeah, I think that's more just an RNG kind of thing than actually something that players can do. Oh, hey, we got a rare one, a Siglu Becco.
Burst finish.
Nothing dropped off it, but that's always fun when one of the rare ones pops up. Alright, let's start making our way back. Let's check out the right side of this. Now, my understanding is the Wild Easter quest doesn't have any new bosses in there, from what we've seen outside of the series, so there shouldn't be any risk that we're going to see anything outside of anything a player might do. So, don't really think there's going to be any kind of spoiler, and really the only thing that I would say here is I do at least keep up with the trailers, even if I haven't, even if I'm not going through the story, and that's how things have always been with me. I keep up with the trailers, and I also will dive into the music of the game. So, and that's just because, you know, I have the tools in order to do that. As I kind of proved to you when I did that that two-part series a while back, talking about the sympathy system and the Dark Falls loser demonstration. It's a shame I won't be able to really do that the same way again, because YouTube has gotten rid of annotations. The only way I could really think to do that again would be if I were to kind of put all the links down below in the description and kind of leave it like that. It's such a shame I'm not going to be able to create a grid of buttons again.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Alright, Regius could use a hand.
Emergency. Code. Attack. Completed. PSE burst.
And there's another PSE burst. Alright, time is almost up.
Burst finish.
Okay. So even though that was a shorter one, I think that was actually kind of a good thing here, because Otherwise, we'd get stuck here for a while, and the emergency quest would start up without us. Alright, on to the last area. Let's get this going. Good old Beal Maduna.
Emergency code due.
And down they go.
Completed.
Alright, let me sort my inventory real quick. Alright, let's head up to the camp ship. Alright, and so at this point, go ahead and toss the lead back to me, and what we'll do is we'll kind of hang out here for a few moments here. Yeah, we'll hang out here for a few minutes if anybody else wants to join for Wild Easter. Actually, come to think of it, I should probably make some space for myself, so I'm gonna head out to the lobby real quick. All these eggs are just going to become fodder for my summoner class. At some point, they moved the recycle shop to a different spot. So I keep going into the shop when I don't intend to. Let's see, can I sell anything that is less than 10 stars? Yes, there is plenty of that. want to hang on to the stuff with the Emperor Embrace, because that gives you a really nice boost when you're trying to grind weapons. Okay, and is there anything else I can get rid of? Nothing but pet eggs. So let's go ahead and use those up. There we go. That gives us a good amount of space to work with now. I should grab more of the boosters, though. Okay, we got less than a minute, so let me head on down and get to the quest counter. Oh, let me also turn this in. And that maximizes my boost for today. Alright, here we go. Emergency Quest of Wild Easter 2018. Oh! I think I accidentally left you behind there. Let me try to rejoin you if I can. There we go. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, that's also something that's fairly new. I haven't used that too much in the past. Alright, shift to drink premium 2 for all the boosts. Looks like almost everybody's here. It looks like we got somebody else joining us now. Alright, and let me do something real quick here. Because I just remembered that is a thing when it comes to this mission here. Yeah, I've got to turn the music off here, or else there's gonna be something regarding Sonic Team. They've got a they apparently don't like the music for that song playing. And for some reason, that still triggers in that brief 1 or 2 seconds. I'll do what I typically do and do a re-upload. Agnostic, welcome. Alright, here we go. I should turn on my Switch Strike. There we go, now we're doing some good damage. Now, part of the reason we're also doing this is because for the Conqueror's Crest, if you complete three instances of Wild Easter 2018, you'll also get a set of Conqueror's Crests. Now, all these are going to be distributed at a later date. I think it's, what was it, like the 21st or 22nd of the month, I think? So there is a little bit of a wait until you can actually get them. But still, every little bit helps towards getting 14-star weapons. And who knows, it's possible I may have one by the time we do rejoin Episode 5. But it's really going to come down to a question of, is there going to be a proper comeuppance in all this, like I said before? I mean, protocols are protocols, and I just can't let something like that slide. Alright, over to the Vegas Illusia. And like with most emergency quests, we're not able to actually get any items until the end of the quest. Alright, Train Ghidorah. Alright, it's on the ground. Unfortunately, those breakpoints just... once one of them breaks, it just gets back up like that. If anything, that was probably one of the more annoying things about this fight. The fact that it would only let you get to a certain point on damage, and then you really couldn't... You kind of had to reposition yourself after that. Alright, down they go! Alright, that takes care of that group. Up we go. And there is that Five Nights at Freddy's reject again. And into the next area we go. Alright, an Escaragnus. You know, it's such a shame that you can't really fight a Dark Ragna anymore in its original boss area. For those of you that are unaware, and if you look way back in my PSO2 series, like, I think no later than episode 10, I did fight one of them at one point. I don't think I beat it before the timer ran out, but the Dark Ragna has its own specialized battle arena where it's able to, like, climb on the walls and things like that. Phaleg. So, to give you a little insight into the strategy that I used when beating her in her specialized quest, what I did was I focused specifically on attacks that were not going to leave me open to counterattack. And so that's why, basically, specifically when I had my mech guns out, I was only using the normal attack. I was not using any photonars, because each of those was going to leave me open to attack, or essentially susceptible to animation lock. And so I knew that in order to take her out, I just had to figure out how to not even have to worry about that. And so that's why I did things the way that I did. It's very similar with the Talus. There is a little bit of animation lock with that one attack, but it also goes out so quick that it really does not matter that much. And I also kind of waited a little bit to see what her next move was as well. So kind of like a tank and spank kind of thing. Even though it was more or less dodge and spank, I guess, in that particular case, because only a hunter can hold their sword to block. Well, that unless you're using like an all-class sword, but for a hero, they really can't do that. And I finally got that kill on Phaleg around 3 AM that evening. So it was definitely a long time before I finally got the kill, but it happened. And the proof is in the video. It does kind of have me wondering if maybe at some point there would be... Maybe I should, like, try, I don't know, doing, like, a speed run or something of a game, or trying, like, a really hard game at some point, and just, you know, not really worrying about my microphone that much, just kind of focusing on the game as I need to. Alright, I'm taking damage. Okay, so yeah, one of the players is using their Dark Blast. Nothing I can do about that. But the fact that, based on trailers, apparently there are multiple forms of that Dark Blast ability, it's got me... There is the potential that I may never get my comeuppance, and instead it pulls a really weird turn. What's the best way to go with this? So, this whole time, it's been presented... No, that's not a surprise. I'm not a... That ability does come out pretty darn quick there. Anyway, there's the potential that in all this, I may not get my comeuppance, and instead what ends up happening is... if the player absorbs all these Dark Blast powers or whatever into themselves, given the nature of Omega, it's possible it may not create a second Profound Darkness. But instead it might actually create what's known as a Great Light. And for any of you that are familiar with the Phantasy Star Classic series at all, Great Light is essentially the being that split apart from the negative energies millions of years ago as is told in Phantasy Star 4, end of the Millennium. Technically, it's not 4, just because 4 is a bad number in Japanese culture, because 4 when represented, I think, as SHI or she, it comes out as being related to death in Japanese culture, and so you typically try to avoid that number. But anyway, the Great Light is essentially what's split off from the Profound Darkness, and it was the Great Light that essentially created the seal on the Profound Darkness through the creation of the star system Algol. I know that's a bit of a spoiler there, but at the same time, this is just a chill stream, so I feel like I can talk freely about that kind of stuff here. Rooks, you said you had a theory as well? Okay, understandable. Maybe if this is, yeah. Plus, yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Maybe we'll talk about that in the Discord. Yeah, I see you in there. Hang on. The question is everybody else able to hear you? Can you hear me? Looks like you might have a microphone muted there. The other thing is I also have the server set to push to talk. Now, one change that is coming up in the game is I am kind of excited for is the fact that Tekker is now actually going to be able to fulfill more of kind of a support role than before. In the fact that they're basically getting a way to really extend how far their techniques reach in terms of healing and things like that. Tell you what, since we're kind of trying to run through this right now, why don't, since I'm going to need to sort through some items anyway, that'll be an opportunity for you to try to get things working with the voice chat there, Rooks. Alright, on to the train, Ghidorah. And this is something I'm also hoping to do with the chill streams and things like that, is to kind of let other people have a voice as well. And that's one of the reasons I set up the Discord in the first place, so that people could join into the voice chat, and whether on or off camera, I could talk with everybody. I also know that community is, a big part of being a streamer and doing videos these days. It's not like it used to be back in the day, so I'm trying to catch up as best I can here on that sort of stuff. Retrograde Beats. I am on ship 2. Oh, this is a new ability, I think. One that the Dark Ragna couldn't use. Yeah, so this move right there, there's a ton of animation lock on that, so I typically don't want to use that when fighting someone like Fale. Alright, down goes Ophiel. Okay, over to the last platform.
Emergency code due.
And there go all the Dark Blasts. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the players here are just wondering, what am I doing not doing that? Had me stun locked for a little bit there. Alright, that finishes it up. And I think we're actually going to have enough time to get one more round started here. But we've only got about 60 seconds to get that started here. Alright, time is running out here, so we're gonna have to start this now. Yep, sorry I had to leave you there, but we had to get the last one going here. Looks like we're going to have 9 out of 12 players, so that should still be enough, though, to get this done. Let me head back up to the camp ship real quick and try to make myself a little more space, though. Yeah, give me a moment to get back down there. It doesn't look like they want to take it, so... it looks like we're going to have 8 out of 12, then. Looks like all 8 of us are here, so let's go ahead and get this going. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't hold yourself back up on my account here. I'm just glad I'm going to be that we're able to clear all 3 instances that are needed of this particular quest to get the Conqueror's quest, or Crests rather. Sheesh, you had to run over me right at the end there, huh? And like I was saying, one of the best things you can do is, if you know you're going to be around on the 2nd of the month, and you're going to be able to log in, definitely make sure to save your bonus keys for then. Basically, with my hero class last night, I just used a bunch of keys that I had stored up. I think I had like 12 or so from all the bonuses that were going on. And that on top of the PSO2 day bonus, plus all the special campaign bonuses that are going on. Basically, I was able to level from a level 77 hero up to a level 80 hero in the span of about 15 to 20 minutes, essentially. That's just how quickly those how quickly you can gain experience from those bonus quests. And you definitely want to hang on to the keys as long as you can. If you know that there's going to be like a special bonus campaign coming up where experience is going to be boosted, and so that way you can add the bonus on top of the boost that you're going to be getting from that. That's just one example of how you can stack so many bonuses up in this game and essentially just level incredibly fast. I mean, even with what we're doing right now, this is still decently fast. We've gone, essentially, I think, like 3 or 4 million experience so far this evening. And that's because there's still like a 100% experience bonus going on, plus my 75 experience item, plus my 100% try boost I've got, plus the 50% daily bonus. So all these boosts stack on top of each other and really make for quick leveling. I don't see a reason to hold off on that at this point. I mean, by the time we get up to maybe not to the top where that reject is, but where we're in the next area, we'll probably have another photon blast at that point. These guys are almost done. Yeah, this is basically what a game like this is, typically. You know, when you're just focusing on grinding out weapons or experience, a lot of it is the same enemies, but at the same time, typically you want to run the emergency quests when you can. Since you'll be able to group up with all the different players that are running it. I think there are very few exceptions where you'll get a bunch of players, and typically it's like on that rare, maybe once a week occasion whereby there's no actual emergency quest scheduled, and so the game just picks one from the pool of emergency quests it has, and it just happens to be like one whereby it's like you can get better experience just running a normal quest than running that one.
教えるハーバート、世界のさらなる進化のため術式をくだらないことを破壊のライツイくだらないことをどこを見ている承知なし手遅れだ
死なないでくださいね
遅い
死なないでくださいね
どこを見ている承知なし手遅れだ遅い
あら体が温まってきましたね死なないでくださいね
遅い
あら少し
くだ
力を
らないことを
やめよ
破壊のライツ承知なし手遅れだどこを見ている世界を見せばむ病棟を取り除かねばなるまいやってくれるな
まずは壊してみるか
承知なし手遅れだどこを見ている世界を蝕む病棟を取り除かねばなるまい術式を変更と
逃がしませんいかがです
この身この力すべては未来のためにある
壊してみるか
くだらないことを
破壊のライツイ
どこを見ているくだらないことを遅い
まずは壊してみるか
遅い
目覚めよ破壊のライツイ
遅いやってくれるなこの身この力すべては未来のためにある
Yeah, definitely the fact that we've only got 8 players in here is definitely slowing things down, but I think we're still able to... Actually, we're down to 7 now.
遅い。やってくれるな。くだらないことを。どこを見ている。承知なし。手遅れだ。世界を蝕む病気を願いの強い残さればならない。
But yeah, we should be able to finish this, no problem. We still got plenty of time on the clock. In fact, I'm not hearing Faleg anymore. This guy definitely has a lot of attacks that are gonna hit everybody. But at least he does have some tails on the ground. I used to hate that about games, but if you have absolutely no clue where something's going to land, then I can find it kind of acceptable. And definitely Final Fantasy XIV has also helped with that in the way that you get the tell signal on the ground, and then the action goes off, which is very different from how things are in World of Warcraft, or at least World of Warcraft when I used to play it. Alright, let's see if we can get that player back up. Oh hey, we got an Epirappy here. So, an extra battle here then.
Completed.
Like I said before, the things that this guy drops basically makes it a lot easier to grind weapons up. I'm probably gonna run out of space here. Let me see if I can send anything up. Okay, that makes a little space. Okay, that gets me a little bit more. Let's use the eggs. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to pick anything else up here. Alright, so what I still want to do today is I still want to run through the advanced urban quest. But first I want to get my inventory sorted out. Rooks, do you want to see if you can maybe, because it looks like you're unmuted now here, so why don't you see if you can chat at all?
I just figured it out.
Okay, I can barely hear you there. Hang on, give me a moment. Let me see if I can turn you up.
I just figured out.
Try it again.
How do I sound now?
Alright, you're still a little bit low to me, but I may have my my headphone turned a little bit down here. Try checking your voice against the stream.
My microphone has a volume control. Okay. Man, I am low. Let me see if I can.
何をお求めですか?
私にお任せ。
Let me turn all this off here. Just so I can hear you.
Don't worry about my phone. I think I'm going to check my own settings first. Okay?
Actually, I think I can turn you up from my side here. Try one more time for me.
Okay, how about now?
That's sounding better. Let me turn you up some more. Yeah, try it now. That's about 184%.
Okay.
Yeah, now I can hear you pretty well there.
Am I making it through?
I think if I turn my my headphones up a bit, it'll work out. Yeah, let me try a level check with you here. Go ahead and speak one more time for me.
Oh, great. PSO2 is blocking my inputs to Discord.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm able to hear you now. There's a little bit of fuzz in there, but you're actually coming through pretty well, at least from what I can see now. Give me a moment here. Let me try to adjust that here just for now. Okay, just for now, I've disabled the push to talk, so you should be able to talk now without having to use that. You might need to disconnect and then reconnect to the voice channel, though.
Testing.
I can hear you.
Okay, I think. Okay, let me test to see if PSO2 blocks this. Can you still hear me? Even though I'm out. Even though I'm.
I can hear you.
Is PSO2.
I hear you.
Okay, I'm still listening to you from your stream right now, so you might have to make the adjustment yourself.
At this point, I got you at about 200% here, and I'm using my push to talk real quick here.
Okay. Okay, so the theory I had is that one of the things I noticed is that they started referring to dark photons as corrupt photons. Initially, they were just calling them dark photons, but I'm going to mute. Is it okay if I mute the stream?
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Okay, they were originally calling them dark. I noticed in the early part of PSO2 they were just calling them dark photons, but later they referred to them as corrupt photons. Something like that makes me start to wonder if there was something else going on beyond just basic a basic light and dark dynamic. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't necessarily bothered by the dark blast when it started out. How do I put this? It's like I think there may be two. Version two. How do I put this best?
I think I get what you're saying here. At the very least, certainly darkness is not inherently evil. It's kind of just what's associated throughout history, kind of.
Yeah. Well, basically, my theory is that there is a opposite spectrum that the corrupt photons are operating from. Basically, for us, you have the basic light to dark for the average arcs that the average photon is operating from light to dark. you know, all those different elements. Then at dark, it will start to flip over into the corrupt photons spectrum, where it's like you go from dark then to light, there to a corrupt light. And this sounds weird, except when you start to, except it's there's when you start to think about some of the, okay, there is some connect. They borrow a little bit from Judeo-Christian mythology and PSO2 a bit, and from, for instance, the I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. The records, but anyway, okay, I'm getting off track. I'm just thinking is the dark blast may not be an actual dark falls anymore. It may be something like it might be similar to a. It's maybe one. It's one of the reasons why I think the original personality. Well, okay, I might be spoiling things but basically, I just don't think the I don't think the dark blast is actually a legitimate dark falls. Though. I think it's on the non-corrupt side of this extended spectrum. And I think I completely botched that explanation. Sorry.
It's definitely an idea here, and it does kind of work against what I was thinking in that potentially there's like the idea of that this is going to create a great light. But then again, great light is something that from back during the classic series. Aside from like a little tidbit here and there during like the initial trailers for I think Phantasy Star Universe, or maybe it was PSO2, there was mention of a great light, but it's probably not the same entity as back then. I can certainly accept that, but yeah, going deeper into there's darkness and then there's further levels beyond that could certainly be in play here. I mean, we really don't know what the nature of photons really are in terms of this universe here. I mean, it's sure we in what we know there are photons, but it's not something that we can manipulate. But it's like similar with what's the best way to say this? Regular energy versus anti-energy, or something like that. We might think that there's just a single spectrum, but your idea of there being like a second spectrum beyond that is certainly interesting.
Well, basically, it's just the idea that as you go into the deep, profound darkness, when you first see it, does it even look like a being of darkness? Looks more like angel of light. You know, the photon beast, the Inga Fundarge.
Yep, I can see that.
And so I was just thinking, as you go closer to the profound darkness, you start to see what I think is like a corrupt light. It's a version of light that is it's kind of like, well, I think I might be able to explain this in, you know Lucifer from Christianity, right?
Yeah.
He is one of the things that if you read the Bible and the associated text, you realize something is that Lucifer never stopped really being an angel of light. In fact, his name means light bearer. However, and when you look into what light means, the connections light has, it has knowledge with life-giving and knowledge. So when Lucifer fell, essentially all the Luciferians and are essentially receiving a corrupt knowledge or corrupt light, and kind of like where I think what the profound darkness is going is that it's a corrupted opposite spectrum of the regular photon spectrum. And I don't know if they... Oh, sorry.
No, I the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking maybe like kind of like the reddish photons like we've seen in the past. Maybe that's kind of like the corruption, and in fact that's kind of what it is. In the past it's been referred to as boosted. So, or at least that's what's kind of coming to my mind here.
And if you notice, the default dark... Well, I don't know if you noticed it, because it's kind of difficult for someone who doesn't have a dark blast on their character. But if you take a look at the default dark blast colors versus the average darker colors, the dark blast has a cool, deep blue color ribbing on it, where most darkers have a blood red ribbing. So, as I said, I just think that possibly the current dark blasts are not in the corrupt are not corrupted photons, but essentially, but kind of like maybe well, maybe it's... I mean, and I think some of the let's see if they have a dark... One of the original I think don't know if I can find it, but one of the original advertisements for or news releases for the Dark Blast calls it Ark's Falls form. So that just might be what's going on. On the flip side, one of the more gutsy moves SEGA could do is that they could actually, in the end, have you have to fight your built-up Dark Falls forms. Just one of those ideas that might be...
Yeah, and one of the things I've been thinking of also for a comeuppance would basically be, you know, the profound darkness essentially dragged you into Omega in the first place. It's possible it's just waiting for you to gather all these up, and then it's just going to pull you right back out and then merge with you with yourself, which, yeah, at this point it's really kind of hard to avoid that whole situation. And it just becomes a more and more powerful version of that. But not just only that, but when that happens, I remember SEGA saying that the story was now tied to all your characters. So one thing that I would kind of want to see is perhaps your character that essentially gets sucked up like that, essentially gets locked from play for a certain amount of time, and you have to kind of create an alt to rescue your main character. And SEGA does give you 3 character slots for free. So you could certainly look at it that way as well, potentially, here.
Yeah, and I think they might, as I said, it would be gutsy for them to do, but at the same time, I think almost immediately everyone would start screaming their heads off at SEGA. and you know how it is, when people start complaining at SEGA and straight like crazy, they tend to just relent. So,
well, they didn't relent about Zeno for a while there. I mean, he was out for at least a good while until he could be rescued.
Yeah, but at the same time, Zeno... Well, actually, I came in towards the late end of episode 2, so I don't know much about that part.
Okay, so he was he was basically out of the game from the time when Elder was revived to the point where he actually came back, which was right at the end of episode 2, essentially. Because I think he needed some time to heal up before he actually kind of came back into the forefront of things.
So you're essentially saying that Zeno was locked from being used?
Exactly. He was grayed out as an option, if I remember correctly.
Wow. SEGA doesn't have that kind of guts anymore. Sorry, it's just... Yeah, that was... But that's the thing. That's an NPC, not your character. Many people have a main character. And while I do have another character who could operate like that, Angel's really my main one, and if I can't get locked out from playing her, well, I'm almost done. I'm pretty much done with PSO2.
Well, I'm not even saying that they would be locked up for that long. I mean, they would release the quest, and then the follow-up quest would be immediately available, essentially.
Hopefully. I'm just saying, SEGA just doesn't usually have the guts to do crazy stuff like that most of the time. I mean, with Zeno, it was an NPC. It was their character that they were just essentially taking away. Oh well. Anyway.
It's just an idea. But no, that's definitely a very interesting, different perspective on things here. All right, I think I'm ready to get the last the urban quest going here.
Okay. I think that my urban has reset by now, so I should have enough. I should have enough capsules to get us up to 50 if you want me to take the lead, but.
I mean, just check it real quick, but I don't need you to do that if you've lost it at this point.
Are they Urban's D, right?
Yeah, Urban's the city.
No, I mean D, as in it uses D capsule.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 160.
But yeah, I was thinking if you don't have the capsules, then we'll just make this a quick run then.
I have the capsules.
Well, use them if you're going to make multiple runs here. Don't just use it on my accord here.
Well, actually, I kind of love the advanced quests. One of the things I kind of wish that they would just make it possible that you could swap out the exploration quests for the advanced quests, because it's just would be nice to be able to actually have a challenge.
I see what you're saying. Alright, at this point I'm going to bring the game audio back in here.
Just realized I haven't dumped the Emperor's Embrace into my storage yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty much out of space myself at this point here. I gotta start doing some grinding, and I don't have the Meseta for it. I guess maybe I could get some grinding done. I wish Sega would do that deal again, whereby you could get all 5 of the extra storage for like a discount.
Well, they didn't probably realize that people were just dumping stuff in there and not paying for anything, paying for the rest, not paying for it again.
That should be good, though. I've got 20 slots here.
Oh, right.
Yep, might as well. Alright, here we go. There go my boosters. Experience in here is actually pretty nice. Man, those dark Nero fragments. I'm still looking for the looking forward to the day when they finally release that patch, which allows you to upgrade the austere weapons into the austere NT, or at least that's what SEGA promised a while ago. Alright, there goes the PSE burst. Looks like we're only getting like one at a time here. That's better. Let me turn the voice volume back up. There we go. Oh wow, I still don't have Megid level 17? Yikes, that's gonna be a lot more powerful. Alright, while I'm looking here, let me go ahead and feed my pets real quick. Just make some more space. There we go. Summoner is probably going to be one of the first ones that I work on when the new level cap comes out. Actually, no, I take that back. It'll probably be Hunter first. Just because that gives such a power boost to everything else. Oh boy, we've been separated. There we go. I'm guessing that's a support character of yours. Or maybe it's just an NPC, I'm not sure.
Yep. It's Roni.
Alrighty. I'm so glad I set up the Discord so I could have other players like you join me and just chatting during these chill streams. It's something I wanted to do for a really long time as part of the reboot.
Well, it's definitely a whole lot more convenient.
I think north is the end over there, so let's check out that one last spot.
I just remembered, you mentioned that the hero class can sort of can do a just block of it. The brightness and attack, the first one can actually block attacks. First slash.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that as well. It was just really hard for me to get the timing for that down, but I guess it's kind of similar to the Hunter's parry photon art, except that can block multiple times in a row. If I didn't know any better, I would have called that an exit burst, which is not really a thing anymore.
Exit burst?
Cross burst.
So back when Advanced Quest first came out, there was a technique that players had developed whereby they would basically pull like 4 or 5 of the last groups in an area all at the same time in order to essentially force a photon burst to happen, and even sometimes trigger a cross burst off of it. But you really can't pull that many all at the same time anymore. I think they got rid of that technique maybe 6 or 9 months after Advanced Quest came out, but it's been a really long time. I can't be certain about that. And there's a one more. Man, with all the boosts going on, I've got like 10k coming off of each of these kills. Let me turn you up again. Say again?
I'm surprised you haven't leveled up yet.
I'm about halfway there. I mean, 79 to 80 is quite a lot. The reason I was able to get from 77 to 80 so quickly last night is because I had 2 of the Tokyo Gold keys to use in the bonus. Well, there's another cross burst. How long is this gonna go on for? This is starting to get silly. I mean, this is the kind of burst you would want to have happen during a full-size MPA. Because then the enemies would really be streaming in all at the same time. That might explain things. Actually, no, I don't think that's happening just yet. There's number 4. Are we gonna tie my record? Okay, one short of it. Although, actually, no, that may still tie, because I don't think I had a full crossburst going on at the time. Let's see. Alright, into the final area. Oh, this is it? I guess I just never had the luck to actually get this guy. It's always been a Falls in here rather than Dark Ragna, but yeah, this guy has multiple phases whereby he'll start climbing on the walls and such. Or I guess we have to be a little slower at killing him for that to actually happen, but... Alright.
Completed.
Alright, so that is a different emergency quest for something that is now happening on Omega. It's pretty obvious what that is based on the description there. I, for one, will not be participating in that, though, since that is technically a spoiler for the upcoming story in Episode 5 whenever we do return to it. So, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for today. If you want to be able to join me on stream similar to how Rooks had's here today, please do make sure to join me in my Discord. Link to that is in the description below. And if you are a new viewer, please make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I do go live or whenever I do put out new video content. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.